Hey guys, I'm Hailey Widener. I hope everyone's doing good right now and staying healthy with everything that's going on. But today I'm going to talk about Chapter 7, which covers media economics. Okay, so here's some background information about the chapter. So Michael Sandel, who was the author of What Money Can't Buy, The Moral Limits of Markets, says that economic language has taken over our moral thinking. Everything has become connected to marketing and economic incentives. So Sandel argues two objectives to everything being connected to commerce, and those are fairness and the capacity for corruption. The book talks about the social responsibility theory of the press. So this theory was developed in the 1940s by the Hutchins Commission, who were a panel of scholars, and they got their funding from Henry Luce, the founder of Time magazine. So according to the Hutchins Commission, the media have the following responsibilities to the public. They are to 1. Provide a truthful, comprehensive, and intelligent account of the day's events in a context that gives them meaning. 2. To serve as a forum for exchange of comment and criticism. 3. To provide a representative picture of constituent groups in society. 4. To present and clarify the goals and values of society. And 5. To provide citizens with full access to the day's intelligence. However, the theory has one fundamental flaw. It gives little attention to modern media economics. Okay, so here's some more info from the chapter. So political scientist C. Wright Mills claims that as the mass media becomes large, economically powerful institutions, they joined the power elite, which is a ruling class within a democratic society. According to the book, the media today is predominantly corporate-owned and publicly traded with media conglomerates. A few of these media conglomerates/empires include News Corp, CBS, Time Warner, and the Walt Disney Corporation. This consolidation could limit the marketplace of ideas, especially when ownership has a decided partisan and political bias. Commercial news organizations trade in 4 markets: the market for audience, competing for readers and viewers, the stock market, and the advertising market. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the effect of competition on news. So according to Steve Lacey, a media scholar, low to moderate competition in the news field produces a quality news product. However, in today's hyper-competitive news world, the goal has shifted from informing the public to getting the most viewers or readers. So media outlets now answer to stockholders instead of to the general public. And here was a quote from the book that I liked. So, in hyper-competitive situations, ethics takes a back seat to survival, and the common good becomes the loser in the process. And that was on page 217 in our book. Okay, so here's a little bit about television. So television began as a free service brought to the public by advertisers. Now, 9 out of 10 Americans pay for cable and attention advertising. Major news networks have become companies with diverse sources of income, and they rely on many different avenues to generate the revenue. So this has allowed them to become financially successful without solely relying on advertising. Alright, so here's a little bit about newspapers. So 180 years ago, the funding for newspapers was called the penny press, which was when Benjamin Day lowered his price of newspapers well below the competition, and he planned to make up his losses with additional advertising. However, now that there are many other mediums available to get news, newspapers began to and continue to struggle financially. Okay, so movies and music, digital technology, while impacting all media industries, the entertainment business was impacted the most. So movies and music were pushed to produce more content and generate larger profits. The threat to digital entertainment is piracy, which is defined as the sharing of digital files without payment to the entertainer. So piracy impacted music more than movies because streaming services help movies, but there have been no solutions for music. Okay, issues and responsibilities in the new media world. So many stakeholders in the media business argue that the current crisis is an economic one. Target age demographics increasingly turn to online content, which devalues other mediums. So the reality is, good journalism is expensive, which leads to cutbacks, which then leads to lost news for the public. Guiding principles from the Society of Professional Journalists regarding the ethics of media economics, they say, 1, seek the truth and report it as fully as possible, and 2, act independently. So the economic dilemma for the media industry is great. However, a strong democracy requires a strong media and valid solutions must be found. And that quote was from page 225 of our book. Okay, time to get into the case study. So the case study that I chose was case 7B, which is Who Controls the Local News? Sinclair Broadcast Group and Must Runs. So here's a little background information about the case. So in May of 2017, the Sinclair Broadcasting Group brokered a $3.9 billion deal to buy Tribune Media's 42 television stations. So Sinclair mainly operates in small to medium markets and reaches nearly 3 out of 4 homes in America. The purchase of Tribune Media stations gave Sinclair access to the largest markets in America, and those markets were New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago. So this was a huge deal at this time. Okay, so there were also some ethical issues surrounding Sinclair Broadcasting Group. So one of them was that Sinclair has been accused of promoting right-wing propaganda on its stations. These accusations began after 9/11 when Sinclair required that the anchors read positive messages about President George W. Bush's campaign against terrorism. And in 2004, ABC's Nightline devoted an episode to soldiers killed in the Iraq War, and Sinclair barred its affiliates from airing this program. So this would be similar to how people accuse CNN of being more liberal, while Fox is considered to be more of a conservative station. So another ethical issue with Sinclair was that it produces must-run content. For example, The Bottom Line with Boris, which was a feature commentary from Sinclair's chief analyst and former staff assistant to President Trump, Boris Epstein, must run nine times per week on their stations. Sinclair denies biased programming and defends its must-runs practice, saying, "We stand by our approach to sharing content among our stations to supplement the excellent work our newsroom staffs do every day in service to their communities." So that was found in our book. There were many oppositions to the merger. A lot of people did not want it to happen. Consumer advocate groups opposed the merger because the company would surpass the federally mandated maximum reach of 39% of homes in the country. If this merger was approved, Sinclair would reach 72% of American households. Um, Democratic Senator Dick Durbin urged that the merger be blocked because the deal would, quote, threaten diversity and localism in broadcasting, ignore the unique concerns and interests of local audiences, and harm competition. Several other high-profile mergers were also occurring at the same time. For example, AT&T and Time Warner, along with Disney and 21st Century Fox. These mergers were also running into oppositions in Congress to merge large media groups together. So, what happened in this case study? The Republican-led FCC relaxed rules designed to protect against monopolies and to ensure diverse content in local media. Here's a little timeline for you. So in April 2017, the FCC reversed the 2016 rule, which limits the number of TV stations a broadcaster can buy. In October 2017, quote, the FCC rescinded a 78-year-old rule that required broadcasters to maintain a local studio in communities where they're licensed, overturning a requirement to deliver strong local content. And in November 2017, the FCC voted to allow broadcasters to own multiple newspapers in the same market and 2 of the top 4 stations in a city. Here's some ethical questions to keep in mind. So, is it ethical for the Sinclair Group to have must-run content for such a large coverage area? Was it ethical for the FCC to change their guidelines to fit the needs of large media outlets? And is it ethical for the Sinclair Group to own such a massive amount of media outlets in one area? So moving on to the philosophers and their opinions. So we know that Aristotle, he believes in the golden mean. He also believes happiness is most important and it lies between 2 extremities. So with that being said, I believe that he would have found this situation to be unethical because one group of people was getting what they wanted. There was no golden mean. It was an extreme of one group controlling all media in one area. So moving on to Kant, he believes that good intentions come from goodwill. The use of reason to inform will highlight your duty in a situation. So Kant would have also found this situation to be unethical. This is because the Sinclair Group did not have good intentions in controlling all media. They were concerned about money and not about reporting the news to the public. And Mill believes in utilitarianism, which is the actions are right if they benefit the majority. So Mill would have also found this to be unethical because the situation did not benefit the majority, it only benefited the Sinclair Group and those who worked there. So, what do I think about this case study? My opinion is that I also agree with the philosophers in the situation. I believe that it was unethical for Sinclair Broadcasting Group to have control over such a large amount of stations and to have such a wide reach, considering they were known for promoting specific political views. This affects the marketplace of ideas, and it makes it a lot more difficult for viewers to form unbiased opinions when they're only being shown one side of the news or one group of people's opinions instead of an unbiased view. Okay, finally we have the multiple choice question. So the question is, according to the Hutchins Commission, which of the following is not a responsibility of the media? Is it A, to serve as a forum for exchange of comment and criticism, B, to present and clarify the goals and values of society, C, to tell the public lies, D, to provide a truthful, comprehensive, and intelligent account of the day's events in a context that gives them meaning. And C is obviously the correct answer. So, that is all. I hope y'all learned something from this. If you have any more questions, please just don't hesitate to reach out to me and ask, and hopefully I'll be able to answer them for you. Again, I hope everyone is staying safe and healthy out there, and I hope everyone has a great day.